I'm preparing myself some cabbage soup. It is a really good, healthy meal that is low calorie. So if you're trying to lose some weight, then this meal is perfect for you. Right now, I am cutting some onion. So if I start crying, you'll know why. So I'm just gonna do a half portion right now because I only have a small pot. I don't have a big one. I will prepare the second half tomorrow and freeze it, because you can freeze it and save some for another time. So what you put into this cabbage soup is, of course, like I said, some onions. So I'm going to pause it here because I'm going to fry it, and I'm pretty sure that you don't want to hear me frying onions. And once I get cut in here, I'm probably going to have some tears, so bear with me. Okay, so I sauteed my onions. And I bought a cabbage. I bought a small one because it's just myself here. So I'm going to take half of it. I'm going to stick it back in the fridge and use the other half tomorrow when I make my cabbage soup tomorrow. So what I'm doing now is I'm just cutting the cabbage into bite-sized pieces. Excuse me. So you want to take the core out of the cabbage and take off the brown parts. Like, nobody wants to eat that, right? I'll probably give it to my rabbit. I'm not sure, I'll have to look it up. I'm not sure if rabbits can eat cabbage or not. So I will look that up. My rabbit is a pretty fussy guy. He doesn't like some things like some other rabbits might like. So the things he doesn't eat, I usually pack and I take it out to the forest and I feed it to the deers or whatever, you know, other animals that are out there. So just cutting these up. Oops. Some fell on the floor, and I'm pretty sure my cats won't eat it. They don't like cabbage. So when you make your soup here, you mainly want to put in some healthy stuff. Well, yeah, because you don't want to add too many spices and stuff. I've never been one for salt and pepper. That was like a First Nation thing. When I grew up, my parents didn't really, my mom, she never used spices like that. The odd time she put a little salt and pepper. But I bought like diced tomatoes, so that's one thing you could put in. This recipe doesn't call for mushrooms, but I like mushrooms. There's like no calories basically in mushrooms. So I will get this into my pot, my cabbage. I feel sorry for the people I'm going to be working for or with for the next few days because, yeah, I'm going to be probably tooty. That's cabbage for you. It'll let you rip, roar, and tear from you know where. So I'm just putting in, oops, my cabbage in here. I'm just going to tear off some of this core part. I tell you, growing up, things looked a lot different when it comes to vegetables and fruit. The government has modified so much food nowadays. It's crazy. Like you wonder how pure it really is, what you're eating, because there's so much additives. And there is like organic vegetables and fruits that you can buy. but I can't afford it. It is really costly. You know, that's just another way of the government ripping off people. So I'm just going to add water to this cabbage. Because once the cabbage cooks, it's going to thin down. Sorry, turn this around. Here we go. So this is what I got in here so far. I got the onions in there and I got my cabbage. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a stir. Give my onion flavor in there. Okay, so I'm going to turn that on to probably about medium. Yeah, so the British friend that I have, hi, I just want to say, to reverse it on my phone, I have a Samsung. Each Samsung might be a bit different. Mine is like a 10, so mine's a bit older. But for me to reverse it, it is on the lower right corner. There's like a circle and there's like a half arrow kind of thing. So indicating that will reverse, right? Ooh. Well, I must have something on the burner because it's a little smoky. It's not a fire, just letting you know. So what I also like to put into my cabbage soup is dill weed. That helps with a little bit of a flavoring as well. I'm going to add a bit more water. Because once it gets cooking here, the water evaporates a bit. So I want to get at least 2-3 bowls of soup out of this one. And the one I'm making tomorrow, I'm going to freeze and save it for like another day or two or whatever next week kind of thing. I'm going to add my dill weed. So just wait, I've got to cut up my carrots and I'm sure you don't want to hear me cutting them up. So I cut up my carrots. It was a really big carrot. And I bought them from the farmer's market from a gentleman there. So I'm going to add that to my soup base. Okay, once I have that in there, I'm just going to reverse it so you can kind of see. So yeah. Oh yeah, it's filled to the brim. So that's going to boil. I kind of like my carrots a bit crispy, but you can cook yours to however you like. Some people like it soft, but I like mine with a little bit of a crunch. That's my preference. So I opened a can of tomato soup. I like to pour it all in with the flavoring of the tomatoes. Some people like to drain it, but all that nutrients and good stuff is in the liquid. Just like the English chap from England, or the UK, just like he said, Jackie Chan was very correct. When you boil your food, all the nutrients and good stuff come out of there, and when you eat the vegetable and all, it's without, like, basically the good stuff. So the tomato juice, mushroom soup, I'm going to drain a bit and add that to my soup base here as well. This is not in the ingredients of some other people's, but I'm doing basically how I like to do mine. You can do yours with a little bit of flavoring or whatever you want to add to it. It's like totally entirely up to you. I just got to take some of this out. I'll add it back in once some of it evaporates, because it's going to happen. Just so I have enough room for it to simmer and boil a little bit. yeah, this is a good way to lose a little bit of weight. I like to lose some weight before summer comes because I bought myself a paddleboard and I want to get out in the water as much as possible. So I have a few more things. Well, I'm going to save this carrot for tomorrow because I have 2. And then I have a zucchini. So I'm going to cut half of this as well and add it to my soup. Okay, so I love zucchini. Zucchini is so good. I don't know if you ever tried zucchini loaf. I'll have to do a recipe sometime and do a video on it as well. So wash this guy first, and then I'm going to just peel off the skin. I know that part is probably the best part too, but for this recipe I'm going to peel my skin off. Sometimes I leave a little bit on because that's where a lot of the nutrients and stuff are in the skin. I'm going to pause for a minute. And there you have it. I'm just going to add some celery to it. And within an hour, I will have my lunch here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.